Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Cupcake Collectible channel. My name is Ben. Of course, with us always, Lohit, all the way from Toronto. How are you doing, Lohit, my friend?
It's the north, but it's still
Yeah,
not cold. It's still quite
good.
hot. So we're
Yeah, I
only
see you
happy for it.
t-shirt. Yeah. Well, it's Thursday, so that means we're going to show you off what we bought and what we read yesterday for New Comic Books Day. Lohit, do you have a lot of stuff?
Some stuff. I don't know if it's
Okay.
a lot or not, but I do have some stuff.
Well,
For sure.
let's get it cracking, Jack. We're going to
Okay.
start with Marvel Comics. So, Lohit, why don't you start off first? What did you get and what did you read?
So the first thing I got is something called as Axe Judgment Day Part 4. So you see the big massive celestial there. That's what this book is
I
all
did.
about.
Has the story got better yet, or is it still bleh?
Look, here's the thing, it's Kieran Gillen, so it's gonna be it's not super bombastic or something actiony stuff or something. It's gonna be
Mhm.
average. There's going to be so much exposition thrown at you,
Okay.
and so he even did the same thing in his Eternals and other stuff. So there's
Sure.
like the couple of writers who are like I am a writer, so I can write, and they will write for
Right.
sure. And Kieran
Sure.
Gillian is one of them. I'm not saying that he's a bad writer or something. He has a couple of good books like Darth Vader run and all. His Darth Vader run was pretty good. But then, initially it's all pretty average, and, it's verbose, and, you get a feeling of, okay, what am I reading? So in this book, again, it's about X-Men Eternals, everyone fighting each other basically. And that, so from the last book, there is like a celestial, and he decides that, okay, I'm going to judge all of you humans. So this is like the aftermath of that. Like, okay, so they're still trying to figure out, like, okay, what's happening, and how do we deal with this? And their idea is like, what do we do? And Druig is the head of the Eternals at this point of time,
Right.
and he's also conspiring with Uranus, who's basically the grandfather of Thanos.
Right. He's a
So
super badass that killed off the all the mutants on Ragnos in issue one. Right.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So he killed off all the mutants, but he's still imprisoned, and he's
Yeah.
kind of, so Druid lets him out, when he can, because he's still under the control of this great Eternals machine. So there's that, So at
Right.
the same time, there is this the celestial, who has to judge whether to let humanity live or not.
Right.
So all of this is going on, right? And at the same time, you have these the good Eternals who don't support Druig. They are with the Avengers and with the X-Men, trying to help them out, what we can do and all, how do we get out of this and all. So there is that. So the basic premise is, of course, you want to know what's going on with the Celestial, what is he going to do and all. So they give you a clear answer of what the Celestial decides, which is cool.
Mhm.
So I am an Eternals guy because I've read every run of Eternals, from Jack Kirby to Neil Gaiman, Charles Knopf, Daniel Knopf, everything. So that's the reason why I wanted to like go into this, because I've even read the Kieran Gillian's run on Eternals, which is again super verbose. It's not all interesting, but then I like the Celestials and the cosmic beings and all. I don't know. I have a thing for them thanks to Jack Kirby. So
Mhm.
I did enjoy it for a bit. It is good.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's not completely a dead bore, but then even if you didn't read it, doesn't matter. You can. It's okay. I've been invested in it for because of the Celestials and my connection with the Eternals for 4 issues
Sure.
now. I'm going to ride the wave. I wouldn't say it's the best Marvel event ever or something, but the point is
Those
that
are
all
hard to
of the
come by right
events,
now.
yeah, all their events are like kind of like that. But yeah, I mean,
Right.
let's hope that whatever they did at the end of this issue means something. Because
Sure.
they did big things at the end of this issue, and
Right.
I'm curious, kind of, to find out, what does it all mean? Where does it go? So unless some other writer comes and retcons everything that was done here. So it's a good
Uh,
issue. I mean, I don't
okay.
know. It's not a must buy from my end, but it's still a boom. I mean, there is a fight going on. I mean, the scale is the cosmos, and there's a
Right.
celestial judging Earth. If that is your thing, then buy this. Otherwise, yeah, not a must read.
I just think there's way too many crossover issues, and it's way too expensive. You want to get the complete story. You know what I mean?
That is another thing. So it is not a a cheap issue. It's like what, 5.99 or something. So yeah,
$6, right?
yeah. So there you
Yeah,
go.
I think just like overall, if you want the entire Judgment Day, all the books, I think there comes like 64 books or something like that. It's a massive amount of books if you
Wow.
want to get them complete. Yeah, complete
I
run.
think, yeah. So and probably some of the times, like there's a part where Magneto and Storm appear out of nowhere, and I was a little bit lost, like what are they doing here? But
You're
because
right. You
I didn't
probably
read
need
the
to read like
crossover,
X-Men. You
yeah,
probably
because
need to
I
read
don't read
X-Men
the
Red or
X-Men
something
book,
like
so
that.
there was definitely a crossover book somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I was like, so what they did when they came, I understood that. But how did they appear out of nowhere? And there is this backstory of them being trapped
Sure.
somewhere and coming out, and
Right.
on Mars and or Araco as it's called. So yeah,
Right.
so yeah.
All right. So for me, my first book is Amazing Spider-Man #9. Now, this is written by Zeb Wells and the art by Patrick Gleason. Now, originally I bought this just for the cover. It's a really cool variant cover by Leonardo Romero. You can see it right. I don't, and and I read it. So I was like, this is actually my first Amazing Spider-Man book I bought since the relaunch, and I thought it was actually pretty good. So, yeah, that one, that's fine. You can use that cover, or no, use the one on the bottom. Look, that doesn't matter. So I was pleasantly surprised. Usually, you'll hear recent years that Amazing Spider-Man, especially the Nick Spencer run, has really been really bad, but it was good. It's action filled, action packed. Sorry, action packed. He has, you can see on the cover, is Spider-Man and Wolverine go on a mission to face Moira Matagrid, try to free Mary Jane from her control, which they showed it in the Free Comic Books Day Spider-Man Venom one shot, where Moira Matagrid took over Mary Jane, so she could infiltrate Krakoa doing the the Hellfire Gala. And yeah, I thought the Patrick Gleason's art is always good. And Zeb Wells is actually one of the might be the best Spider-Man writer in a long time. And I do recommend this book. It's fun. And I will when Marvel collects this into like the tribute paperback or something, I will pick it up. Even though people don't like Hellfire Gala, and I don't blame them. But this what do you call it? This crossover issue is very well done.
I just have one question. Wasn't
Yeah.
Hellfire Gala over like 2 months ago or 3 months ago or something?
Oh yeah, but Marvel had a really bad shipping issue over the summer.
So was this book supposed to come in during the summer?
Oh.
All the Hellfire Gala came out. Why didn't this come out then?
Well, remember, look at Banner of War. The last chapter was 2 months late too.
Okay, I don't know.
The Judgment Day, you just
pretty redundant that Hellfire Gala was over ages ago, and then Spider-Man is now going to Hellfire Gala.
Like Spider-Man is supposed to cross over with what do you call it, Judgment Day too, but those books haven't come out yet either. You know what I'm saying? Just Marvel has really bad shipping issues started in June.
So you mean to say that most of these books are coming out every week, but then after 2 months, Spider-Man will come to Axe? The crossover? Okay.
No, they try to catch up now, so hopefully not, but probably you're probably right. You know what I mean? Exactly. But dude, I'm telling you, Judgment Day, the issue of Judgment Day you're reviewing supposed to come out last month.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's like everything is over, and now, like, the guys who arrive at the end of the wedding when all the wedding is over, and we just came here for the food.
No more food.
This feels like that. This feels like that. Okay. Anyway, Spider-Man done. What is next? Is it Daredevil?
All right. Yeah, sure. Let's do Daredevil. I think we both bought Daredevil #3.
Yep.
Right. Loki, I like this book. I really like this issue. I enjoyed the whole thing with Daredevil and his conversation with Luke Cage, and how Luke Cage started, work his way, become a politician. As you know, in the Devil's Reign, he actually became mayor of New York, right? Mm-hmm. And I also can't wait for the future confrontation between the Daredevil and the current leader of the Hand, Frank Castle, the Punisher, which is something that it's coming. They hinted in here, and of course Daredevil was actually trying to fight the Hand, right?
Right.
So I want to see how that storyline is going to go. What do you think?
So yeah, so just to give
Oh,
some
hold on,
context,
written by Chip Zdarsky, me and Lohit's favorite writers right now.
that is true. So I just want to give some context. So this is an issue like where Daredevil is trying to recruit people, different people, to fight. He's part of the Fist now, which is an anti-hand organization. So they have to take out the hand. So Electra Nachios is part of the Fist now, and they have to take out the hand. So it's all, the major part of the issue is just him going to people trying to recruit them. So he recruits Cole, who was like in the first issue of Daredevil, not this particular run, but when Chip Zdarsky took over Daredevil, he was part of that issue. So he's a cop, so he's there. So he goes to him. He also goes to Luke Cage, asks him to, support his cause and fight his battles. So with some people, they agreed to join him, and with some other people, they don't. So I'm not going to tell you who did what. But at the same time, Luke Cage is the mayor now, and he has shady dealings with people, so he has to go and meet with this crime family. I think the Stormwinds they're called. So that's the second arc. And Daredevil is also concerned that, hey, Luke Cage is going to do right by New York. So even if I move to the, Fist and take out the hand, so New York is safe in hands of Luke Cage. But at the same time, he doesn't want to let that control go. So he goes to so Luke Cage is meeting these Stormwinds, who are basically this big crime family, and he overhears Luke Cage's conversation with them. So that's how the issue goes. There's no big fights or something that happen here.
There is. What do you call it? Daredevil does fight Akka, the female hand assassin that trained Elektra. That was a pretty nice little.
It's a confrontation, but I wouldn't say it's like a big ass fight or something.
Right. It's not like a huge action pack like then Spider-Man number, Amazing Spider-Man 9, where Wolverine and Spider-Man fights Marmot Target and her her soldiers.
True. So so he does. In the end, I think he meets this lady who's part of the hand now called Akka, who's also associated with Electra Nachios in the past. So the idea is that, so in the end the climax of this is pretty good. The world building is nice, if you've read all the issues before of Daredevil, you will enjoy this too. If you didn't enjoy those, you won't enjoy this for sure. So because they bring in characters like from Devil's Reign, they bring in characters from the first Daredevil run, So
beginning of the book, you see him have a conversation with Detective Cole North, which is one of the big character they introduced in the Zdarsky's previous run in Daredevil.
Right. So it rewards you being a long-time Daredevil reader, and it does move the story a bit forward, and it gives you like an idea of what's going on next. So. So I'm curious. I'm still on board with Chip Zdarsky Daredevil. So
I just wish that Marco Cicchetto did more than they covered in this issue. Rafael De La Torre is an okay artist, but man, Cicchetto is the next level compared to him.
Of course, for sure, 100%. There's no doubt.
That's a beautiful cover too.
Yep. So
all right.
Yeah. So that's my second book. And
cool. I bought this is Edge of Spiderverse, Volume 2, Number 3. Featuring some Dan Slott wrote the Night Spider character. That's the character of Felicia Hardy become a Spider Girl. It's not. It's average at best. And we all know. I'm going to say this again. We all know why I bought this book. Okay, it's not because I think this book's any good. I'm hoping that Night Spider shows up on freaking. The Spider, what do you call it? The Miles Morales movie. This will worth some money. He also has another story featuring Spider-Man India, which is really poorly written. And then there's the third story is Sakura Spider. Sakura Spider, which is a little Japanese Spider Girl they introduced in Daredevil, Black, White, and Red issue number 4.
So she's not the one with the mech.
No. This is a different Japanese Spider Girl. She actually had superpowers. So there you go. Yeah, so again, we all know the only reason to buy this book is that you hope some of the characters they introduce in this book will be in the movie, so you could resell this for good money. And if you just want a good story, good art, I don't recommend this at all. So there you go.
Although it's been written, the art is done by Mark Bagley.
Well, no, there's like no. Mark Bailey does one page.
Oh, okay.
In,
Okay.
in,
So they do
in the
you
Spider India
you
story, is that there's like was six, 7 pages of Spider-Man India fights different villains in his universe. One of the page is art by Mark Bagley.
Okay.
So don't be deceived. He does not do an entire book. Okay, he does one page. So there you know that.
Thank you, Marvel.
Yeah, that one page was pretty good. So you know.
Okay.
All right, that's it. I'm done with Marvel. How about you doing?
I have Predator issue 2.
Does it get better? Because that issue 1 didn't do anything for me.
I know you. So Predator issue 2 again, it kind of continues the story of because I mean, at the end of issue 1, Theta, who's our protagonist, she kind of lands on this deserted alien planet, and
Right.
so now she's basically looking for getting her ship back, and she's miles away from civilization. So her computer, she reboots it, although it's broken and all. And it tells her that, okay, it will take you almost like 14, 15 days to get to the next colony. But at the same time, you only have like food which will last you till 8 days. So it's a survival tale and how she survives and, what happens to her. So what's her journey like and all. There are no predators in the issue. So, so it's because it's her journey. So they're continuing her story and, so there's a lot of world building again, what has happened to this planet and, this colony of people, what has happened to this outpost. And and the cold and it's icy cold. So cold is not the only thing she has to worry about. And there are things out there, other things which she has to face. So so I think it was pretty decent. I mean, it did not blow me away or anything like that. I did miss the Predators. I thought there will be some Predator action here, which wasn't there. But
I know. No Chris Hansen either.
So I wouldn't say it's a total loss because he's building on a story. So every issue is not super bombastic as of now. It's got off to a very small, slow start. Let's see after I mean this is just issue 2. So after issue 6, I'll give you like my true thoughts, like whether I drop it or do I keep it. I'll still go along with it for the ride just because of my love for Predator. That's the only reason why I'm gonna read this.
Sure.
So yeah.
All right. I love that my Chris Hansen comment just went over your head. Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay, there was a show, a TV show called To Catch a Predator.
Okay. Okay. I know that. Now I get it. Now I get it.
All right. I don't have any DC books. Lohit, you're the DC guy. Do you have some DC books for us?
Although I'm the DC guy, I just have one DC book. But what a book. What a book.
Oh, all right.
Mark Waid, and
Mahmoud
Asrar did the art. So this is again, it's such a great book, So how do I even tell you anything about this book without spoiling it? Because I know you're gonna read it in the following week.
I already know everything in this book. So I mean, I need by the time I get this book in my hand in end of the month, I'll probably forget about it. But I do know the details of this book, anyways.
Right.
If you want,
so an old-time character shows back up to Wayne Manor, and so again, this is a continuation of a lot of things. So but again, it's not necessary that you have to read all of those things. But again, if you've read them, then it will heighten your excitement. If not, you can still read it. It's a great issue. So
you do need this though for. I'm going to tell you, you probably do need to read Tom King's Batman on the what do we call it, City of Kane storyline.
City of Bane. Yeah. So you need to read that. You need to be aware of that. You don't need to read it. And at the same of what went down in that particular run. And at the same time, the Batman, Superman, World's Finest, what Mark Waid did before this.
The previous 5 issues.
Good idea to have an idea of what went down there. And Robin by Joshua Williamson. So what happened to Damian Wayne specifically? Where he was. So he goes to an island with and he does Mortal Kombat there and all. So that's also a good idea to learn. So the idea is in this book, again, as the title suggests, is Batman versus Robin. So all of a sudden, out of a blue, in the Batcave, Damian Wayne starts attacking Bruce Wayne. He's got a couple of friends of his to take Batman down. So he has Johnny Thunder. He's got Timothy Hunter from the Books of Magic. So yeah, expanding the DC lore.
No, not Johnny Thunder.
And
Johnny,
yeah, and they
Johnny Thunder. Jakeem Thunder.
Jakeem Thunder. There you go.
From the Jeff Jones's JSA.
You are absolutely right on that. So it's Jakeem Thunder with the pen. So, and the pen genie. So, yeah. So he uses them. He tries to attack Batman. So, and Batman is trying to defend himself against Damian. He doesn't know why Damian is doing this. So, and what went down. They do give an explanation for what has happened to Damian and all later in the issue. In the beginning of the issue, they also kind of give you a breakdown that, Damian is not just Batman's kid, but also Talia al Ghul, so he's the he's the son of the daughter of the demon. So
right, grandson of Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. So he has duality in his personality. So that's what they do this. And of course, the fight is bombastic, because it's not just Damian versus Bruce Wayne, but it's also these two other characters. So yeah. So and then after the fight, it is there definitely that why is Damian the way he is. So there are a lot of Easter eggs thrown there. Old school DC characters. A guy with a gem who uses a gem. If you know. So yeah. So it was pretty good. Again, this is Mark Waid. Mark Waid knows DC quite well, and his writing is pretty on par. So it is pretty exciting, and so yeah, I'm definitely going to follow it up. It was it was a good book for sure.
Yeah, it's a 5-issue miniseries, so it should be over before you know it.
Which is the way it should be, because otherwise it shouldn't. There are other people who just stretch it like a rubber band.
Yep, I'm with you.
I'm talking about Tom King and Kieran Gillen, but then that's fine. So
And that's all your DC books this week, huh?
Yep, that's the only DC book that kind of interested me. There are lots of these, but then I skipped all of them.
Well, you don't need those crappy Harley Quinns.
No. I like the character, but I never liked any solo run of her. I think the Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Conner one was fine, but the Sam Humphries run was also decent.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, right now you have Stephanie Phillips, who is probably one of the worst writer in comics right now.
I haven't enjoyed those runs for sure.
All right, that's you got Dynamite Entertainment, right? You Dynamite Comics, your favorite publisher.
Yeah, my favorite publisher, Dynamite. Hey, they send me free stuff and stuff, man. So why not? So Dynamite is the best.
Look at that cover. Sexy.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this is Immortal Red Sonja, issue number 6. I would totally recommend you to read this once it comes in a trade. You won't regret it. You won't.
Okay.
Because this puts Sonja into that Arthurian legend, Arthurian universe. So if you like Arthur Pendragon, Merlin, all of that is there here. So last issues, Red Sonja has found Lancelot, Sir Lancelot, and she's basically teaming up with him, and their whole goal is to find Merlin, the magician. So that's the idea. And it's written by Dan Abnett. Dan Abnett doesn't disappoint usually. Dan Abnett is a good writer. So even when he did the Valiant Rye and all, I mean, he knows how to write good comics. I have no doubt about it. Even when he was with Marvel and DC and all of these things, he does pretty good stuff. So this is again another Dan Abnett book, issue 6, and probably the writing is solid. It is amazing. The artwork is okay, but this Arthurian Red Sonja reimagining is pretty dope. And
she's wearing too much clothes, dude.
She's wearing an armor, and why she's wearing clothes, there is a reason for that too. I know you just joked, but there is a reason to why she's wearing so many clothes, or why she's wearing that armor, because that armor is a curse, and that's hitched to her body. So yeah, so that's the thing. So
once the curse is lifted, so are her clothes, right?
Probably at some point of time. I know you're making jokes, bad ones, But then, yeah, the book
Hey,
is good.
I thought it was really funny.
The,
All right, guys, if you think my joke's funny, comment below. Thank you.
but yeah,
All
but
right,
I would definitely recommend this book for
cool.
everyone, new, old, whatever, you know.
Sounds like a fun
This is a good read.
read. Mm-hmm.
That's my only Dynamite book.
All right. So should
You
we go
know,
to Image?
we can go to Image for
All
sure.
right, let's go to Image Comics. I have one Image book this week. How many do you have?
I have two. So
Okay,
first one
so
is
you do that one, right? Just Thirst for Inches number. Wow, it's up to issue 11 already.
it's over. This is the last issue.
This is the final issue. Okay, this is the final issue.
Absolutely.
I only read issue one. It's written by Rick Remender. I thought the first issue was very good. Loki, of course, read all 11 issues. So,
Yep.
how did it end? I mean, don't spoil it. Did you like the ending? Did it give you that oomph?
So the one thing I would say about this book is that, you know, it is completely opposite to what a Kieran Gillen book is, because there
Yeah.
are no words, you know.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
art. Like Andre Lima Arujo, I don't know how to, I'm probably butchering that name, but his art
Andre
is sublime.
Arujo and Chris O'Halloran. Dude, I read the first issue. I think I finished reading in like a minute. That's how fast I finished reading
That
that
is
book.
how you, so 11 issues probably you can do in like half an hour, 20 minutes or something.
Probably
So,
less.
absolutely. You know, it is, but look, it's a very action packed. It feels like a little bit of Breaking Bad, you know.
Yeah.
It starts off with this guy who's basically he wants to make some money, and he gets this app where you get like assassination contracts, and
Okay.
and if you end up doing them, then you get the money. That's how it starts off. Then over the period of time, this guy like adopts the person you were seeing on the cover as a kid. And this last issue happens 10 years later than what happened in issue 10. So something happens in issue 10. And so this is 10 years later. And now this kid whom the main protagonist adopts is now is grown into a fully grown man.
Okay.
And of course, it's about his vengeance because something was done wrong to him. And and you know, so sins are paid in for blood. So that's the thing. That's the whole idea. So it's also it is pretty good, you know, for what it was. It's a simple little story, and I just kept on reading it because the best thing that works for this book is the pacing. It's uber fast, you know, and the art. The artwork is amazing. I don't want to discredit because Rick Remender is the writer on this. So of course he plotted everything so that the artist could, you know, not use so many words, but just show like pure action on page. So and that's what it does. And yeah, I think it'll be collected in what, 1 or 2 trades, maybe a deluxe edition at some day. It's just 11 issues.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So I would totally recommend it. I mean, if you're in for like, you know, you have like half an hour to kill or something, and you're looking for a bombastic, fast.
Look, my friend, dude, if you have the collection, you probably finish that in 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
Half an hour. You got to read like a, you know,
here's the thing.
Digest every piece, every panel. That's the only way you could take half an hour.
So
like
therefore,
first issue, it took me like a minute to read it. You got some 11 issues. Like 15 minutes top, you should be able to read this book.
Look, if I'm paying for a book, I would savor the flavor.
Okay.
So I'll take my
the flavor.
You'll probably see through it. So that was
all right. So next book I think is the book that we both bought. It is Daniel Warren Johnson's Doer Powerbomb number 4. Now, Lohit, I'm gonna tell you this, okay? This is my pick of the week, okay? My pick of the week. Because as you know, I'm a big well, I'm not a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling historian. You know what I'm saying?
You are.
So I told Mark out for this book. You talking about bombastic action. This book is filled with bombastic action. Okay, when
also character moments.
Yes, absolutely. You got a lot. You know, you deal with Cobra Sun and well, you know, if you read until now, you know that main character is Cobra Sun's daughter. She's the main character. They also introduce like her uncle, who's also her uncle and a partner who has joined the tournament. Oh, they also want the same thing, which is bring back, you know, her mom back to life, right?
Absolutely.
Dude, the action is great. I mean, you get all sorts of crazy wrestling moves. You know, you get the V trigger, you get the tandem Long blower. You get a Death Valley drive with double stump. All that crazy stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, I mean, you don't even need to be a wrestling fan. If you're a fan of a very well written book with tons of action, Daniel Warren Johnson does a masterful job on this book. I absolutely love it. I love the series so far. I can't recommend this book, high enough. I love this book. So this is my pick of the week. Okay, what's your feelings on this book?
I loved it. It was so I have not been as big as a wrestling fan as you, but I was pretty big during my university time. So when like Randy Orton was coming up, when John Cena was actually coming up, when Triple H was moving out of his World Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. So I used to watch SmackDown and Raw and all of that, So and I used to be a big fan in the 90s during your Stone Cold and The Rock days, and even before Bret Hart Hitman and Razor Ramon days. So this kind of brought me to those times, when I used to watch wrestling, all those crazy moves, as you said, and all. And the wrestling part of it is pretty good, but also the story at the core is basically this girl trying to fight this intergalactic wrestling match just to bring back mom. That resonates with me more than the wrestling moves and the action.
Absolutely.
And it's very colorful book, so it's very out there. It's loud. The art works. Daniel Warren Johnson can do art. He can write too, so he's like a double-edged sword. So I mean, most of the stuff which he has done is quite good, and and even
of course he shows that he's a big wrestling fan himself. That's why in all his comics, the characters would do like wrestling moves.
I can totally imagine. So another DWJ hit for sure. Yeah.
All right.
Good book.
And what do you got? Any more books?
On Image? No.
No. Do you anything other small press indie books?
I think Dynamite was my only kind of.
You didn't get that? You didn't buy Samurai Doggy?
I actually will get it at some point, but this week I didn't I don't. I think I already spent all my money, so I kind of
budget up. Okay, that's cool. So all right, so this is my next book. My next book is Lohit, you gotta go back up. Yeah, there you go. Dark Space Wildfire #3, written by Scott Snyder and art by Hayden Sherman. Of course, we know the story. I mean, I've told the story in the previous before. It's about this group of 5 female prisoners that have been used as firefighters. So last issue, everything was going good. They're downloading the cryptocurrency into the thumb drive. They're ready to be rich. So they decided, just to relax in this rich guy's place. And then they found this body of a corpse that's kind of decomposing in the wine cellar. So that's where we start off. But this issue will do a lot with the main character, whose name is Ma. She's the mother, is dealing with her a lot of flashbacks, about her life before she went to prison. And then they did the whole story of they realized that this body was actually being sawed up and then put it back together. As they were freaking out, the house started to be caught on fire, and they put out the fire because they're firefighters, right? And then they realized that there's only one room that's on fire, so someone actually set that fire while they were in the mansion, and then assassin shows up. So that's where it ends. Okay, I know it's a bit of a spoiler. Still very solid book. Okay, Scott Snyder is doing a very good job on this book, and that's probably why this book's already being optioned for a movie, probably a movie, or a streaming movie, whatever. Very solid book. Okay, I mean, it's a little bit slower than the previous 2 issues. My only criticism for this book is that some of the characters, they're a little bit interchangeable, so they don't really, outside Ma, the other 4 characters that they really haven't stand out to become their own characters yet. You know what I mean? Does that make sense, Loki?
Yeah, it's called the nice house on the lake syndrome, where you don't recognize.
Yeah, you heard him, Tynion. Loki speaks the truth. But yeah, that's the only major. They really just mostly spotlight on Ma, which is she's the main character. She's the leader of the squad. And it's only 2 more issues to go. Maybe Scott Snyder will do something and make us care about the other characters too. So there you go.
I'll probably catch it on the trade, or I think everything Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire drops on Comixology Unlimited. So I'll
Yeah, yeah,
definitely read it there. I'm hearing
yeah.
good things from you, so definitely I'll check this out at some point.
Right. And then my final book is Cover the Dead with Lime, #2. Is from a very small press publisher called Blood Moon Comics. Let's scroll down, 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 down. We know small press. There you go.
This
Any
one?
covers one. Yeah, that's
Yeah, okay, I'll go for this.
now. I think I said last time. I don't know who the creator is. Let me just say, Jonathan Chance.
Hernan Gonzalez. Never heard of them.
Yeah, I don't know there. Okay. Basic premise is a black plague, but instead of just killing people, the rats that was infected by the black plague, whoever they infect, animal or people, they turn to zombies. Okay, so we have this. So basically, over here we got the main character, right? The one, the plague doctor's outfit. That's our main character, Jack Teller. He had left his family to go save this girl who sent a message about she's trapped by the zombies. But before that, they do a little. The first couple pages actually takes place in current time, where it happens again, where the infection happens again, where this guy's son gets infected and dies, and it's pretty sad. So in this issue is just Jack Teller's adventure trying to reach this girl and try to save her, while faced all sorts of zombies and such. It's pretty good. It's a good zombie book. It's a very fascinating take on the Black Plague, and it's a good horror book. I mean, it's nothing super exceptional, but it's good enough for me to want to get the next issue.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's also kind of
so it's actually two, and you're still happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, the one cool scene like where the guy, where our main character, Jack Teller, he's stuck in the swamp. And he tried to lure one of the zombies to him, so he used a zombie to get him out of there. And the zombies seems like they don't, they still have a little bit of intelligence. So the zombie's standing there waiting for him to come out. So what he does is he actually pulls his glove open, so the zombie can smell the flesh, like the pheromones from the human being. So the zombie start going towards him. Then grab the zombie and got him out of the swamp. It's pretty smart.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that is all our books this week, people. That's actually it's a good week.
It was.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we like to ask you, what did you buy this week? Anything you would like to recommend us? And have you been convinced by the books that we bought that you will try later on? Lohit, take it away.
I just gonna give a shout out to my pick of the week, because I did.
That's right.
Well, Do a Powerbomb was very obvious as a choice,
Right.
that because it's one of the solid books whenever it drops.
Sure.
But this week, I think I have to give it to Red Sonja. It is a fantastic book. If you like the Arthurian legend, and I'm not even kidding, just because I like Red Sonja, the book is actually good.
Cool.
And the Dan Abnett book, and it's a total recommendation for me. And yeah, I mean, compared to the Do a Powerbomb issue and compared to the Red Sonja issue is pretty good with the mysticism and the magic, and the writing is good too. So yeah, for this week, that will definitely go to Red Sonja. Overall, also, I mean, not a lot of people are reading Red Sonja, Immortal Red Sonja, or have read it. So I will recommend them to go ahead and pick it up. And if you like Arthurian legend, if you like Red Sonja, if you like Knights and Maidens, then that is probably a book for you too. So yeah.
Sounds good to me. Well, people, as we come to the end, both me and Lohit wish you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back next week, probably. And hit that notification bell, okay? So when we have a new video out, you'll be the first one to be notified. So, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, Lohit, let's say goodbye to these nice people.
Goodbye, sunshine.